Hello, beautiful people of the world, or should I say, of the Fallen Republic. This is the Gran Turismo, whatever it is that they went to in season 2. I'm your host, Static Dreads, joined by your other hosts, Kelz, without a camera. Also joined by Zog, without a bow, and Inner, without tainting. It's strange.
Man, at least you wrote a better rundown than our intro. We need to leave all the intros to Zog.
That's hurtful. I'm trying.
No pressure at all there.
But man, you know, at least you don't write the intros with giant robot AIs that are here to murder the universe. Every person, fuck them. Giant robots killing everybody.
A vibe though. But yeah, today we are
not
talking
wrong, I guess,
about Cour 2 of the acclaimed anime 86 that was anime of the last year, according to Anime Trending and multiple other sources that had actual people vote instead of my anime list. Fake the polls. What?
Hey, all I'm saying is if my anime list wanted to sponsor this show, I'd chill.
Yeah, I'd sell myself for that, of course. We all know that, but they haven't, so I'm not.
Yeah, all right.
But when they do, this never happened. Thank you, Kami Guru. But yeah, so first,
Kami Guru.
Super Kami Guru. But first, quick spoiler-free review for 86 because you definitely should watch 86, and I do not want to be the one.
Depends on your definition of everybody.
Okay, 98% of people die. But anyway. So, since spoiler-free review Zog, that this is an anime
it's called
about
86. I expect everybody to die.
Yeah,
they're about to get 86'd.
What?
Yeah. But spoiler-free review, as he's so eloquently and diligently trying to get to. Yeah. It's a fun robot political military drama about PTSD and being a psychopath that's connected to giant robots who are like the brains of humans to some degree, and like the responsibility of being the Reaper, and also like moving beyond that role in the universe and deciding to live for yourself, and that life is worth continuing to pursue beyond your simple identity as the Reaper. That and building relationships and relationships continuing and, striving and praying for the thing we all want to happen, which does. 86 hand signs all day long. And definitely, it's worth every minute you spend watching it. Yeah. I vote watch 86.
Yes, 100% watch 86. If you like 1939 Germany, but a better story, then watch 86. Anyway, so we did a prior podcast about this. Go check it out, Cour 1. But quick refresher. With spoilers, our homies, the 86, are out to go find Shin, the main protagonist, aka Undertaker. They're out to go find his head, or his brother's head, and go and take it. And, as the famous 2012 movie Avengers said, if we can't defend it, we sure as hell will avenge it. Or something. No,
that's about right, yeah.
Okay, that just sounds so campy. But
well, I mean, that's what those movies are.
Yeah. It was.
When it comes from Robert Downey Jr., it sounds so much more epic.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not good enough for you.
But definitely. Yeah. That was a great whole thing.
Yeah.
And the kind of nuanced relationship with Shin's brother. And it's like they were together and then they split apart. And like the last thing that Shin's brother ever did to him was try to fucking murder him. But that's after a history of him being like the best big brother in the world.
Yeah. I mean, but does it make it better? I don't know. He's got at least he'll always remember his brother.
Yeah.
So,
Every time he looks in the mirror, he'll always remember his brother.
I meant the night terrors and the voices but yeah.
Oh, those
Yeah,
two.
when he
Those
looks
two,
in the
yeah.
mirror, he sees the scar.
Yeah. I mean, he could forget. But I mean, anyway.
He'll never.
I mean, he
forget
wears
it.
a
It's like-
scarf, man. I
Yeah.
bet he wears that scarf even in a shower.
Probably, actually.
It's a nasty scarf at that point.
It's in the shower. It's
Yeah.
getting clean.
You
You
know,
ain't never
I guess
been
you're
an
not
86
wrong.
Strange. You don't know the struggles. You are Alba, aren't you? Pig. So it
You were fucking heated, Chief.
I
Cool
know.
it.
Damn.
I was about to say I'll go be an 86.
All I'm saying is he's got to at least be like contributing to the cause before you hit him with that. Like he's got to be the bloody queen or something, man.
no, he
You
could
know,
never.
We got
I
to
love you,
change the
Strange,
mind.
but you could never.
You know?
You could
Oh,
never.
no.
I could never. Like,
Could
you know.
I take many lives in my hands and send them out to die? No, probably not. No.
I mean, you probably could do that part. Like,
Yeah, no, this was whole ass some Endless game. Like the whole vibe about like them commanding the 86 is, and the 86 is, you know, being propagandized as, oh, it's autonomous. You know, the 86 aren't people. There's no one
the
dying.
bloodless war is what they called it.
Yeah, the bloodless war. So, you know, all these commanders that are going out here and, you know, are commanding the groups of 86 to go fight the giant the giant autonomous robots that are coming to murder everything. You know, there's a real disconnect for the main people of, you know, the main commanders of San Magnolia. However, the bloody queen does not. She gives a fuck about each one of her 86, and that's kind of why we care about her.
Our girl Lena is best girl.
Amen.
And we end out season 1. So from this point on, spoilers about season 2 in some form or the other. Go watch 86, but spoilers from here
Please.
Yes.
on. We end season 1 with, we think that all of our 86 have died. And it's time for Lena to move on to a new group of 86. Like, that's where we end. And we open season 2 finding out our OGs ain't dead.
Mhm.
They've been abducted by another country. And we get to go on what it's like to not live in a Germany allegory.
Yeah, and this is like America, probably. Maybe like France, London. Probably London.
Probably something mildly European or Japanese.
Yes. The amount of history. Like I sent you all a video a while back. I don't know if any of you watched it. You probably didn't. But it was like talking about all the stuff in the Core 2 of not why does my brain want to say like yelling Core 2 of 86 and just about
Giant
how
robots.
like
and
Cartoons.
military accurate in time, like basically the name of like the monoglyph was like the monoglyph, the like salt, like the plane that ran close to the ground, and the big tanker, they were all modeled after actual like 1939 like German like vehicles and stuff. And it was like crazy the amount of detail that the director and the team put into like naming these things and showing that how that they resembled the actual time. So that was crazy. So I'm pretty sure that the Federation was like London or like at least some big free superpower at the time. So that was mighty dope. But yeah, we see that the 86 are boys, Shin, Raiden, Korea, Anju, and the blonde one, whose name I should know, but like he's not Anju, he's not Korea, he's not Shin, he's not Raiden.
If we take a look,
Clayton?
let's see characters.
No.
groups.
Kai? Theo.
Theo. I was
Theo.
about to say. I was like, it's on the tip of
I was like, Clayton? Oh.
So
Clayton.
I want to circle back just for a moment
Okay.
because we're talking about influences and we have taken very little time
Yeah.
to read about it. The trivia from the wiki says that the Galadian Empire is based very much on Germany.
Okay.
And Germany's history as a geographic location, right? So the Galadian Empire's whole thing is that they were once the Empire of Gaiad, and things have happened, and now they are the Gadian Federation, which is all promoting democracy and
Gotcha.
freedom and individualness. They're also the ones, to my knowledge, that made the giant robots that are killing everyone. Is that correct?
No,
That was the
different
Republic
empire.
of San Magnolia.
The San Magnolia made the robots that then turned evil. Okay.
Yes. So San
Okay, yeah,
Magnolia is
I
not
follow.
supposed to be Germany?
No, of course not.
Oh.
San Magnolia is a Spanish sounding name. It's probably Spain.
Yeah. It's weird.
But equally, it's a combination of geographic vibe and also like cultural vibe, because just because the name sounds Hispanic does not mean that the themes that they're portraying in that culture are not Nazi shit.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we see that our 86
Characters.
are escaped to the Federation, or not the Federation, the Gildian Empire, and they're given the choice, hey, you fought your whole life, you don't have to fight anymore, thank you. Go be a normal human. And they try normal human stuff, Raiden works as a repairman or on a truck or something. Theo,
A moving truck, basically.
yeah, moving truck. Theo takes art classes. Anju does like the cooking stuff and everything, and Korea like just goes shopping and everything, and Shin's like still in the military, I believe, or something.
He was.
Basically,
I think he
three
was
of
just
them
kind of.
do. Basically, three of them do nothing. Like I
Pretty
think,
much.
whatever you said, who was in the kitchen. She was like taking classes to learn how to
Anju,
cook,
yeah.
but she was already doing that stuff for all five of them anyway.
Yeah,
The redhead was just shopping,
yeah, Korea.
exploring the city and everything, and he was basically just like bored, looking for something to do, hanging out in the library.
Yeah, that's right. He was in the library.
Yeah.
So,
But
and that
I-
was the cool part to me, because they get adopted by like the king or the leader, president or whatever.
President,
of the
president.
nation. President, yeah. And he's like, I adopt you all as my children today. Like, you should know no
They're like,
more, blah, blah, blah. Savior syndrome stuff going on. And this is where we see the parallel to them. Like, I feel like this is where it's encapsulated so well, like what 86 does better than other anime, and especially, I'm going to call it out. So much better than Attack on Titan, where it portrays war. And like, just because you're saved and you don't have to fight, you feel like the hollowness of, I was supposed to die with my comrades, but here am I living this meaningless life, or they're wanting to go to the battlefield so they can like die their way. And like how people take pity on them and like they still really don't see them as human or equals. Like it's the same thing that's happening in San Magnolia, just a different way. And I was like, this is portrayed like super freaking well, in my opinion. I feel like they did an excellent job with that, because it wasn't just like told. Like 86 does a great job of show, not tell. Like it'll tell you as well, but it does a better job of showing you. I'm like, yo, this is what we need. This is not like, we don't need to see a flashback of a person outside of space whispering to kill all the children for like glory or anything with a man bun. Like, we can just,
Hey,
I mean, nothing against the man bun,
but I mean, the moment your skeleton attaches from your head, I feel it.
Yeah. So, and we still get Swano here, so that's the best
Yes.
part.
Always Swannon.
So, yeah, how did you guys feel about the like parallels to the San Magnolia and the Gildian Empire, with like the 86 still being looked down on just in different ways?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's just like you go from having it's kind of like from one extreme to the other, where it's like you're more or less persecuted and put on like death row because of like what you're born as, and then you go to another country where it's like, oh, you poor children, you don't need to do anything. It's fine. It's okay. It's like, yeah, I can I could see that where they just want to like be people, but they can't just be people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they have to conform to what everybody else thinks that what they should be.
It goes from overt racism and persecution, as you had said, in San Magnolia, to the assumption and babying of the you have been saved now. You don't have to fight. We'll continue to fight. Without the respect and input of the 86, who are, through no decision of their own, they're trained military individuals who are making the decision to go continue to fight because that's what they know. And the world is ending anyway, so why not fight and why not continue to fight on their own terms now that they have the ability to choose? Definitely. No, your point about the fact that there is this same disrespect for the decision of the 86 in both locations, whether it be very overt or non-spoken, is one of the ways to really show their outsiderness and what it's like to be different from wherever you are. And that changes throughout the course of part 2, but we get to see it on display the entire time.
Yeah. So, no, I feel like that was one of the things, like I said, that was done really well. And so, also to talk about, we can't talk about 86 without talking about, the amazing job 86 does of like kind of the two parts, like the perspective of it. I think that was a really dope choice of how they split perspectives. But like this season, we don't see like Lena's perspective. We like hear about it. Like it's. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. So in part 1, we spend where Elena is in the comfortable, safe position of San Magnolia, and the 86 are the ones in the danger zone. We have the end of part 1, and then we pick back up with part 2 a bit later. And the drastic change, because we hear about Lena finding out about the incoming attack on San Magnolia. She's trying to go through all of her process and political bullshit to like get people to do something, and everyone in San Magnolia is stuck in their ways. No, nothing could fucking happen. We got the 86, we'll be fine. You're worrying about, you're grasping at straws here, until they attack San Magnolia, and she's the only reason anybody survives. And then we get the whole question, in the early part of part 2, is Lena even alive?
I was stressed, y'all.
Later on,
I was stressed the whole time.
Me too, bro. And the fact when Shin's like,
my heart.
That scene where Shin's like, why does everyone leave me? I just want someone to stay behind. And he hears like Lena's voice, and she's walked off in the distance and screen's black. I'm like, it's like, yo, this is like an absolute banger, and I want to hug everybody on this production and like, go Minasai, man, go Minasai, like,
yeah, man. And when we find out about Lena being alive,
yes,
and being picked up by the Gaian, I can't fucking pronounce this shit, by the Federation,
yes,
as like Federation,
yeah.
They're different, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like, this
my
is,
bad.
This is giant robots.
My bad.
The labels mean something.
My bad.
But no, being picked up by the Federation, and then like, oh shit, they're in the same military, man. Lena's alive. She's out here, earned her own reputation as the Bloody Queen. When are they gonna meet, man? I hope they don't die before they meet. And that's the stress of the last half, of part 2.
Let me tell you, like, Okay, so
No, it was so stressful. Like literally every episode was like,
like we gotta talk about Lena's uncle for a second because he was like low-key a bitch at times, but he became a real one at the end when he was like, I know what's gonna happen. We let the 86 in here and they're gonna murder us all because they should, because this is atrocious and we gotta let Sang Magnolia go with our sins because the world can never know. Which was crazy how that wasn't akin to what happened with Germany in World War II. A lot of people were worried, like, you know, the world was going to find out about the atrocities that was happening in the camps. And they were like, you know, burn everything, get rid of it. Like, and they tried to kill as many of those people in those concentration camps before the world found out what was going on. And it was just like sad. But, you know, that's the parallel to this was like really crazy. And the part where Lena, like the actual attack was happening, and Lena's uncle was like, yo, I'll buy you some time. And you saw that he was the only person who had a tattered uniform, like he had mud and stuff on his boots showing he actually saw real combat. And, you know, he died like a real one. And I was like, RIP to Uncle, you know, going to go join his brother.
Absolutely. And the
Sorry.
okay. But no, like that whole point, and it also turning into the only reason anyone survived is because Lena took and respected the 86 from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. If Lena didn't show that respect to Spearhead Squadron when Shin was around, the 86 would not know there was somebody that gave a fuck about them. Mm-hmm. So when it was the peril of San Magnolia and everyone in it, fuck San Magnolia, the country, like everyone in this geographic area is going to get fucked by autonomous robots if we don't act. When Lena was like, it's the Bloody Queen, and 86 are like, oh shit, the Bloody Queen has some form of respect for us. We will take action in our own survival. It's like, man, that's how you do storytelling.
Yes, that scene was so cold when the parade turned on and they all linked, and I was like, boy, like, we're out here. They're like, if you use this, it's gonna mess up your brain. And she's like, yank to 10.
Oh, well.
Like, I hope, like, if it continues, I hope there's not any bullcrap of, like, you got a brain disease and you're going to die in 2 years from using the parade. I will be so bad. But, I mean, hey, that never happened for, like, every other Shonen character. So, even though this isn't
the only
Shonen.
thing I could think of is just them wiping out the robots. Like, it's got to, like, they go to the core and, like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but there's got to be some reason that the happy ending can't happen. This is going to become a slice of life tragedy. You have pancreatitis.
Oh, my gosh, no. I mean...
But with, like, giant robots and war.
Yeah, I mean...
So
I'm going to say a hot take.
Oh, God.
86 is, like, top 3 mecha anime for me. Like, I can say a hot take. I know how you feel. Kelz. Like, Zog has not talked in 10 minutes, so we can tell that he is not here for this.
Yeah, you said
really not.
You said mech anime, and it was downhill for that man. He clicked out.
Not even for that. I'm gonna be honest. I was bored.
The hot take for real.
More hot takes.
My takes can never be hotter than Zog's. That's for sure.
I was interested enough through the first core, but when I thought they were dead, I thought we were just gonna follow Lena and how she was gonna change and all of that through all of that. And when I found out, oh, they're alive, they're in another country. Okay, so this isn't one of those single stands against everything like we thought it was before. This is, then why aren't you all working together on this shit? Why did, you know what? Fuck it, you're all dumb. And from there, I just got more and more bored. I eventually I just stopped watching because I was too damn bored.
So I can feel you on the transition from season 1 to season 2, because season 1, it ends off its whole ass. There are 2 types of people. People that are still alive, which is Lena, and she has to continue to do her job. And there are those who are not alive, which was supposed to be the 86 with the way we saw it.
Yeah.
So presumably it moves on in the next core to Lena becoming the Bloody Queen with a new group of 86 and then changing the universe somehow.
Yeah.
That's the way it was set up with the transition. So to not exactly get that, I can feel you on the kind of disappointment, because that's how it's set up.
See, that's what made it great for me, because
I was fine with even
expectations, whatever.
I was fine with even like the little time skip where you didn't see her become any of this stuff. I just wanted to follow her on what the fuck was happening in all of this. Or if you were going to introduce other countries doing this stuff, explain to me why they're not, working with other countries. Like,
well, they did.
Is there? How are they not communicating with each other? How are they not doing all of this? But we see in one of the attacks, there are 3 that are trying to work together, and the Republic's up to the north.
Well, there's 2 parts about that.
Shit.
So, Kai, hit me with why the whole subverting expectations is the shit. Then we'll talk about why Sam Magnolia didn't do anything with anybody else.
Well, for me, I like that because it showed, so if they had just killed off the 86, we would have gotten character developments, we would have gotten martyrs, we would have gotten the somewhat easier way with, okay, Lena has to carry on for this, but by 86 being alive, we still had to find meaning in their lives the hard way. Like, they didn't die for it, they lived for it. And seeing them, like, get that, okay, we're alive, but we're still dead, and, like, giving them the opportunity to actually develop as characters and as humans was, like, really, I enjoyed that a lot. And also seeing, like, finally seeing Shin's breakdown and him, like, having emotion, him crying, like, that was so much better than him just dying a badass death like everybody else, like, I've seen characters in anime die so many times. I'm like, yeah, but, like, really seeing characters live, like, okay, I love Fairy Tail. I do. But one thing we all know about Fairy Tail is that, I wanted this character to, like, I thought this character was going to die, but now they're alive, so that, like, ruins it for me. Like, or like Mike Guy, when he opened the 8 gates and he should have died and he didn't. I was, like, really bummed out because, like, you put his life up to this. But I did not get that feeling from, our group of 86. I got, oh, shit, they're alive and they're, like, still growing, but, like, they're not happy that they're alive. What? They wish they would have died, but now they have to find meaning in that life that they have? What? Like, that was more entertaining for me than them just dying, honestly.
And I feel like maybe if the whole point is war in this type of vibe, if there was more emphasis on the futility of death, that death doesn't always get to be heroic. Sometimes you just fucking die.
Yeah.
And it has no meaning, and there are no heroes. And, that kind of vibe. If there was more focus on that to kind of pad that theme out, it might be a little more interesting.
That's where I thought the first core was ultimately going with all of that. That's why when they're brought back to life, I'm just kind of like, or not brought back to life, they're revealed to still be alive. I'm just kind of like, then what the fuck was this all for? Just to put you in another random spot?
Because they got to go find freedom, and we saw Lena thinking they were dead, so that was still, like, to me, that they were dead, even though that we knew they were alive. Lena, the main character, the heroine, had to deal with this, had to have the moments, like with the paper and everything and the music. And we already saw so many of the 86 die. Like, that was enough for me. Like, we're like, damn, these people are dead and they're not coming back. Like, I'm like, okay, we know the part of war. Like, we thought Anju's love interest was going to make it. Nah, he dead. Like,
But equally to your point, like, splitting the difference here, why does our team of 86 get to be the 86 that live? Like, we get to see 86 die in futility, just the way it is. We get to see the Spearhead Squadron dwindle in numbers. But our group of main characters that we care about, they get to make it into the life that continues beyond the fate of 86. So why is it that this group of characters gets to continue to live? And not saying all of them should die, but it's like the whole point they're making in the first core is that 86, through means of the government, never get to graduate. They all fight till they're dead. Yeah. And that's the whole point.
And the biggest solace they can take is how they die.
Yeah. Except for our main group of characters who get to survive because they're picked up. Now that continues on to Core 2, and we get to continue to have interesting conversations about the military and the war experience of individuals. But it could be disappointing as we have seen that it doesn't fulfill the expectations left by Core.
Yeah. And it does feel like them like living was also showing that they were kind of like slaves, in my opinion. Like they were kind of shackled to the idea of this is what they were supposed to be, and they have to go and break those chains like in an unconventional way. And like it does representation of showing sometimes no one can save you but yourself. Like this person has given them the life. He's the freaking, president, like prime minister of a whole nation. He can give you anything you want. You can do whatever you want. You see these people, you do this, like, but you're still not happy because you have these mental chains and mental blocks on you. And when we see Shin's finally break, it's not, like even like when the others have kind of broken free, he's still shackled until he's fighting the monoglyph and he's like, yeah, I'm going to die. And we see that part set him free. And it's like, wow, those words that you needed to hear and how they hit and like, oh my gosh, like walla walla bang bang, which, do we want to get into that now? Like, I know you said you had one other thing that you wanted to say, Kelz.
Oh, the question was, why didn't the Sand Magnolia work with anybody else?
Oh, it's because they were, like super racist and like purist of like, nobody can mix with us because we're the greatest nation on the face of the earth and they refused everybody else's help.
And they're also the ones that started the fucking giant robot autonomous problem.
Yeah.
And they're out there for their own. And there is a big separation in real estate. Like there is a very real zone of giant robots that are preventing connection to Sand Magnolia. It goes Sand Magnolia, a sea of giant robots, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
So when the 86 help save them, and then the Guardian Empire rolls in for humanitarian assistance, and the Sand Magnolian government collapses, then everything kind of becomes more collaborative. But it's like Sand Magnolia started this problem, and they don't want any help because they feel like they're the greatest.
Dang.
And that's
but besides the
answer,
point that they're doing the autonomous program thing, like we're slaughtering millions of people, but
something about that don't sound right to me. But I mean, they think they're hot shit, so they do whatever they want. That makes sense. But some other bits, I'm just like,
they didn't want anybody else finding out what they did.
The way they put it in the show was kind of confusing to me, so I'm not sure.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'd have to go back and rewatch it, and I don't care to do that.
And I guess that's more so the point. If it's not very concise, that it may not be on the casual watch. Very clear. And some of this stuff, a lot of, I guess the question comes down to what nuance points do you really find valuable as a storyteller? Right.
Yeah.
Does it have to be the political drama where these assholes think they're the greatest shit and you want to spend time on that? Or do you want to spend more time on the fact that, in season 2 or in Core 2, that we focus on the individual PTSD and perils of like surviving and survivor's guilt and finding passion in life and continuing, which is really the main focus of season 2, at least with Shin's character, because everyone else is like, we're not talk to giant robot crazy guy. We are in the same boat. We kind of have found our place. We want to fight. We want to live. But yeah, let's get into whatever it is that's time to kind of dance around, guy.
Yes. Okay. So we've got, our people are back fighting again. The 86 are our main group of Undertaker and Raiden and everybody are out here, and they're like, yo, we're going to fight for the Federation, and we're going to fight on our own terms because we want to go out. We can't do this. So Shin falls back into the ways of the Undertaker because he meets a friend who is a refugee from San Magnolia, because he's got the hair and everything and the eyes, and of course he gets killed in action next to Shin, and Shin has to blow his brains out, and Shin's kind of going back to the path of the Undertaker, and it's like, man, I can't do this. And
man, fuck that guy who made that other guy's little sister call Shin an asshole.
What a douche. But like, man, I hate that dude. And he was like, when he was like crying, he was like, but why? Why did you do it? Why did you let it happen? And Shin was like, it is what it is. And that last scene where Shin was like, I'm healed, bitch, and left the photo. But anyway, so yeah, we see Shin going through all this, and the others like Raiden and Anju and Kureno and Theo trying to get close to Shin, and he's pushing them away. Shin's kind of trying to die on his own. He like literally goes to do a suicide mission, and the others stop him like, yo, bro, no, you can't do this. And Shin's like, fuck y'all. You don't know what it's like being the only one. I want to go before someone. For once, I want someone to miss me and carry on my legacy. And doing all this, they hear that San Magnolia has fallen. And Shin's like, you were supposed to live past us, Lena. And then he just absolutely loses after that, after he thinks he's dead. And we're like, okay, we start to see the nuances between the two and how they care for each other and talk for each other. But so we get this suicide mission, Operation Monolith, because we have another character named, what was her name? Come on, it was the little girl's name. Why can't I remember her name? Sayumi? No.
Oh, you talking about the Empress, the Queen?
Yeah, Henrietta. Yeah, Henrietta. Right? No, Henrietta was the pilot.
Man, I said Henrietta.
I was like, I don't think it's Henrietta.
No, Henrietta was the pilot. The blonde Frederica, thank you. So,
there we go.
Why is her name not on here? Anyway, but Frederica.
It is.
Not in the main cast spot.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, in Core 2. Okay,
look at Core 2.
Cool.
It's the first one.
That's good. Thank you. You liked Power Rangers. Don't give me this. I don't know.
I do. I do very much.
Yes. Anyway, so Frederica, we get introduced to Frederica, who is like, man, this is what I had to like when I had to go back and like think about some things. Like, I didn't understand that the Nozels were like a clan of people, like a clan. And that's what made Shin like kind of different. He was kind of like a Mikasa, because
I was getting Mikasa, but I'm like, you took this from Attack on Titan.
I mean, Attack on Titan took it from freaking 80 other places.
That's true though. Very true.
But yes, that Shin was part of a tribe of warriors that, like, or not tribe, but a group. Like, I don't really know what they were. Like, I just know Frederica was
a psychic powers.
Yes, psychic powers.
He's a new type. He's a new
giant robots. Cause fuck, you're right. You're fucking right. Fucking new types.
Yep, it's Gundam, bitch. But yeah, so Shin is from a group of warriors, and Frederica is their like kind of empress queen. And they all have abilities to like telepathically communicate or sense others, and that's actually how the pair rates and stuff are made, because Shin's family was taken, experimented on, and killed for that information by Lena's best friend's parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Good job, everyone.
But anyway, so she tells her, I can read your mind, I can see into your past, and I know your thoughts. Woo. And Shin's like, okay, whatever. But she has another servant who was Cure, who is like Shin's cousin or some stuff. Like, I don't know. He's got the same Kekkei Genkai as Shin, so they're from the same clan or
Jesus
some shit. I don't know. So
he's another Nozen, and he's her knight in shining armor.
Yes, and he's a giant fucking moth that
6-year-old.
kills people with a rail gun. My
Pretty much.
favorite type of giant moth. Is he not Kelz?
We're going off the rails.
That's what he did. Oh, I should have did that. Yeah.
Winky face. Yeah. Yes. So the whole backstory with him is he was like a guard and had
he was Frederica's personal
relationship.
guard, and he thought she had been killed because that was the plan they used. So
because the transition between the Empire to the Federation, revolution.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he thought he had failed, and he thought they were dead. So he's like, "Yo, I'm going to become a giant moth and railgun kill everybody for the Legion." So he becomes a monoglyph and like basically what is it, like a nuke probably? It's equivalent to maybe.
It's no, it's like artillery.
It's a railgun.
Railgun, artillery, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I'll go with railgun. Railgun's better.
Okay, so super railgun, and
and it's on a track too. Funny.
Okay, but the monoglyph is another thing that's actually based off of a weapon that they had in Germany that I think fired once and then broke forever, but something like that.
So they had giant moths on trains too?
I mean, sure, why not? I wasn't there. So Shin has to go on this mission with everybody else, which is another suicide mission, which is the same thing that put them in the Federation. He's like, okay, we gotta go kill this. Whatever, let's go do it. And everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna die this time for real. And then everybody's like, nah, the 86 ain't dying. We get Henrietta, who is blonde, major chick, who is like low-key, like wife material. And she's like, I won't let y'all die. I used to be a scientist, and I made this super plane that flies really low to the ground that's also based off of the past. And they take that, and then they go, and they're like, yeah. And they drop from the sky, and they're like, yo, we're all going to die. Anyway, so the mission progresses, and Shin goes and fights Cure. And Frederica shows up to the battlefield when she's not supposed to. And Cure sees her, kind of loses it, and Shin gets the opening to kill this. Also, shout out Fido for being the best dog robot in the whole series.
Fido MVP.
Yes, Fido MVP. Every time he died, I freaking willed. But so monoglyph goes off, but Shin is able to stop it. And Shin's left broken and everything. He's like, okay, we did it. And he's like, I carried on. Now I can die. And what's this? And then we get the scene. We get like a slow walk up of him on the battlefield after defeating the monoglyph, after only having like one arm left. And just
there was one robot left.
Yeah.
It was approaching.
Yeah, there was one of the Legion left coming, and Shin couldn't respond. He was like, okay, this is where I die. And then we just see a gunshot snipe that shit. Snipe that Legion robot. And like the music just cuts. Like you can just hear nothing. And then you see a slow walk up. And you're like, oh my God, it's Lena. She's here. And like neither of them know it's them because they've never met in person. They've only had pair-rate conversations. So this is like, for like as a fan, you are geeking right now. We are just like, I remember all three of us watched this together, plus our boy Cam, shout out Cam. And we're just kind of losing it. We're like, oh my God. Everybody's like, shut up. So like, and then you just, Lena gives this speech, which I cannot do justice, so I'm not even going to try and repeat, but it is an absolute banger of a speech. And she's like, well, you kept fighting, so that means you won, you know? And then it's like, you just hear the music like start to play, and there's like these black bars that's like, it's so cinematic. Like, I can't even describe the cinematography, but like this reveal is just like best reveal ever. I'm sorry, like hands down best reveal ever. And she says like, or like Shin recognizes her voice when she turns on her parade. And he's like, Major? She's like, what? And Shin's like, it's her. It is. And he goes to like try and open the hatch, and it's open slowly because they're having this conversation. He's like, I know it's her. And then she still doesn't know it's him. And then as she's trying to open it, more Legion show.
Backup rolls in.
Yeah.
Wait, is it more Legion or is it backup?
No, it's backup.
No, it's like, more Legion in the distance. So he tries to go fight them. I remember because he turns that way to fight them, and then they're like, "Stand down, we got this." And then that's when the Empire flies in.
Okay,
and he's like, "Yeah, we can't meet like this," and puts the shield down. Like, "Want to meet again?" And then the 86 who's with Bloody Queen, Lena, is like, "Major, you don't know." And he's like, well, I guess you wouldn't know, like, because you've never actually seen Undertaker. But the 86 that's with Lena know that this is Shin. And they're like, holy shit, you know. And I felt like Lena kind of knew as well. But then we get the next episode where Shin's like, yo, he's getting harassed by the rest of the 86 who are with him. And the people, and they got his man's speech on recording. Like, they do him dirty because they have his like cockpit audio of his conversation with Lena, and they're like passing it around. And I'm like, y'all did this man so dirty. Like, my man was crying, he was so happy, and it was such a beautiful reveal, like best reveal. And then we get to the final episode, and Lena's like, you know, I gotta keep carrying on for them. And she has like the freaking poster, like finger drawings of them that she kept on the board with her. And then she like kind of goes and puts the ones that died at the like spot. And was like, you guys are free. And she keeps the original 5. And then we get to the actual reveal where they meet each other. And then the best song ever plays by Swato. And like the music is beautiful and everybody's happy. And she says all their names and life is good. And I want a fucking season 2.
86 hand signs.
Oh yes, 86 hand signs. I forgot about that. Their fingers like come together and make 86 when they got a hands, and I'm like, oh.
And they don't fucking touch.
Yeah.
Fuck 86. Worst show ever. We waited all this time to get them reaching for each other just to hit us with a motherfucking 86.
Don't act like we haven't gotten less.
Their score should stay at an 86.
Wow.
Rude. For the meme, because the show loves it. The writers and producers at Animes love it.
Don't act like we haven't gotten less. We didn't even get a fucking kiss in Yu Yu Hakusho, bro. I waited 112 episodes for that shit.
Didn't we? Let that fucking happen.
No, it didn't.
The last episode. I will Google this shit.
I mean, we didn't see it. It happened off screen on the beach if it happened. Because I remember.
I specifically remember her Keiko leaning in to kiss him and a giant wave hitting them at that moment that they would have kissed.
Yes, we didn't see it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, we do. There are screenshots right here on this video.
I'm looking it up.
I'll link it. Don't worry about it. We're talking about 86 though.
Yes. Anyway, so I'm saying, like, we can't say that, like, them. Like, what did you want? Like, what ending did you want?
Not them to end it with the fucking 86. Or that.
Okay. So, y'all got to be real with me. What ending that you actually want?
The end of Core 1. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
Dog,
more story in that vein.
I'm vetoing your opinion. I love you, but until you watch that last 4, and you can still tell me it's crap, which I know you are, but until you watch that, like, I don't understand. Like,
all right.
I don't. Like,
so I wanted more payoff. Like, despite the production delays, and that was production delays led to broadcast delays because schedules wasn't too long. It was all of 2-ish, 3-ish months for 3 more.
It was 86 days.
I fucking quit. Fuck this show. But no, I wanted more.
Actually, how long the delay was, this suddenly becomes absolute trash to me.
I wanted more payoff.
Like you wanted them to have
with
a kid?
Whatever that means. Whether that's relationship payoff or whether that's them succeeding in the show payoff. At this rate in time, I'm
just pick a focus on something and pay that off.
I mean,
I am episode count for me. Episode number. The amount of time I have to invest in shows is dwindling rapidly. So I'm like, I know stories that have paid off sooner than this. Now, not as broad, not tackling more difficult topics and themes. This is doing an incredible job at all of those. But fuck, I want plot to deliver in 12 episodes, so no matter what.
You're saying you want more bunny girls.
There are many...
Yes, motherfucker.
There are many stories out there that have all the broad and multi-topical story elements to them. They still pay them off like one at a time every like say,
what?
Like 10 episodes or something.
Like what?
They don't like
Bunny
wait till the end
senpai.
and then just like try and do them all at once.
But like, okay, can you give me an example?
That's
I mean, all of the 12 and 24 episode shows.
Okay, if I'm going off rip, I'm going to say like the only one I can actually give you, I can give you two. And that's Aster of the Lost and Bunny Girl Senpai in 12. But coming from that...
No, honestly. But even 24, you know.
This was like, less than 24 episodes.
But there is more to the story. Like, we're not done, which is kind of more so my point.
But your favorite... one of your favorite animes is Evangelion.
Which has 24 episodes plus
there was
a movie.
No payoff at the end of Evangelion.
But that's the point.
No, you can't.
But it was, no, fuck you, 24 episodes and a movie because they ran on a budget.
It was a whole series dedicated for sponsorship for Tang.
If the point of this... you go ahead. You go ahead.
It left you with a feeling, which was its goal.
Yeah. If the point of this one was to not give you that kind of closure or anything and just leave you with that unsatisfied kind of like uneasy feeling, the end of Cour 1 did that.
No, because literally we said, I remember when we finished it, we're like, if that's the end of 86 right now, that is still fucking great. That's what we all said as we sat there and watched it.
Sure. I was and the continuation of 86 we have shown has been successful in the minds to varying degrees, which is why they have an 8.6 rating, which is fucking hilarious. But if you're trying to hit me with you said it gives an opinion, evokes emotion. You were emotional when they fucking finally met? Yeah, I was fucking emotional because we spent so much time building up to that shit.
I didn't say
the entire second core. No, motherfucker, like that's the shit you're trying to get at.
No, I'm just saying, like you're saying.
No, don't you just hit me with I'm just saying.
I'm saying what I said.
You gave me the motherfucking look. We've been around too long.
Most of these looks are strays coming from Logan just being like, this was trash. Like that's...
Anyway, that's fine. That's the whole point of this bullshit is that it's acceptable to have your own opinion.
Yes, but I'm just saying, I still haven't gotten it. You've given me Bunny. Well, technically, I gave you Bunny Girl, but
fuck you.
I am trying to get one from Zog.
Psycho-Pass
is still going. It had 3 seasons.
I was good with the first one. I'm going to say bonus him. You know, season 1, that's enough.
I'm like, what? But like, I mean, I could give you like, honestly, I'm going to make another hot take. The way Shield Hero is going after this first episode, I'm like, maybe that shit should have ended when Naofumi walked out of the castle. Because this turtle art, it don't look like it's gonna do it for me. I will be honest.
It's just the first episode, man.
Like,
don't
no, it's not the first episode. You're talking about this season 2.
Episode.
Okay, yes, it is the first episode, but like, why don't the waves matter? Anyway, sorry. That's another podcast.
That's the mystery we're trying to find out.
But I'm just like, anyway, I'm trying to figure out like what it is that makes 86 not likable for Zog. And like, I know your taste. Like, I have seen what you like. Like, you love Eden Zero. I love Eden Zero. But if we being honest, One Piece and Eden Zero are almost identical. But you hate One Piece. So I'm just trying to figure out how you think.
Runtime, motherfucker. That's the thing we were just discussing. The episode count will continue to go on before the story is rounded off.
Fairy Tail is 330 episodes.
Motherfucker, like, listen, you're giving me examples while I'm describing to you the current situation.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And we see my response to Fairy Tail. We're 51 fucking episodes in, and we could have been made a whole bunch of different progress.
Mm-hmm.
But we have so many but the reason for Fairy Tail's existence is runtime.
Yeah.
This one doesn't feel like its reason for existing is runtime, but it's being padded out storytelling wise, not filler wise, but it's being paced to make it to, 50, could even be 75 episodes by the time we get through all of the light novel content. That is still being written.
Mm-hmm. Like, since you already brought up Fairy Tail, with Fairy Tail, the first half of it is meant to be a fun adventure, get to know these characters, with maybe one or two major arcs that will focus in on one or two people. But you still have the overall mystery of what happened to the dragons. Not the focus, but it's just an enticing element to it. You don't get the answer to that until 200 episodes in, but still.
Yeah, that's what Kelz asked me the other day. He's like, when do we find out? Don't tell him, though.
Even then, even though it waits that long to give you the actual answer and closure to all of that, it still touches on some of those elements and reminds you of the thing. It brings that mystery back, trying to tie it into we're here to have an adventure and be with all of this massive group of people.
Yes. I mean,
this show is a small, tight-knit group. It shouldn't take too long to actually go through all of these.
I'm just saying, this is more so not just on 86. I'm just trying to air out the air on a lot of things because what you just described for Fairy Tail.
It's not.
Listen, shut up, Strange. You didn't defend me. You can't go against me.
Fuck you. The end of 86 is not the time to air this out.
I'm just saying, it brought it up. Place. Also, why do you like Attack on Titan but don't like Demon Slayer, Kelz? Answer that question.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck are you talking about? Kelz? Me, huh?
Yeah, you're
we're going to have to have a whole other separate podcast for just Static and you two, and y'all can go ahead.
Shut up, Strange.
Nah.
All right.
Strange was not here on the side of the discussion. They came in trying to ride the call. I respect you, Zog. I respect you, Kelz. Strange, shut up. I love you all.
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm the enemy. You're just taking your frustration out on me all of a sudden. I don't know where that came from, but
86. Go watch it. Form your own opinions. Fuck the team.
Apparently.
This team is 86.
Catch more of us clowning on each other all here on Content Breaker on all your podcatchers. We're talking Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcast at Content Breaker, or Instagram, Twitter, YouTube as well at That Goddamn Cat. We'll catch y'all with more information later, but y'all have stuff too, gentlemen. Where can I find you at?
You can find me at Static Dreads with takes almost as hot as dogs, but not quite.
You could find me at Strangely on Twitter, and you could find me Strangely Entertaining on YouTube and also on Twitch. That's Twitch / I done messed that up. Just look for me on Twitch.
Strangely Entertaining.
There you go.
Does it have a hyphen? Does it have an underscore?
No.
Or is it all one word?
No, it's all one word.
Excellent. Strangely Entertaining.
I've been doing good these last few times. Today I derailed. So good job,
course,
everybody.
That's the way this has gone. Of course, catch the other product at your typical Shonen Protagonist on all your podcatchers as well. So I assume we're going to meet next week after this shit.
Maybe.
What are we supposed to be talking about?
Nice.
I swear to God, if this was the long game, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
If it was the long game, much respect on that.
It better be the
you,
short game. That's all I'm saying. We'll catch y'all next week for toxic characters. In
some perspective. Catch you later.
Next week.
Good night.
On Content Breaker. Stop recording.